The cold open should be you saying that you don't have a cold open.
Well, that's the cold open.
Wow.
You've already done it.
Meta.
Yeah.
How meta of you.
Oh, we're recording now?
I
Okay.
hate meta. Somebody dropped a bomb over there.
A
so
stink
sorry.
bomb, am I right?
Hello and welcome everybody to...
Can we beat that one with hammers?
No! This is already off to a start. This is one of the starts of all time. This is episode 11 of I Finally Saw, where today I finally saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm joined by a couple of new faces, but I'm joined once again by Ember. Say hello.
What's up?
Well,
I'm a bottle of wine in tonight already.
60 seconds into the episode, and I already have
Oh wait,
to...
sup, nerds?
No, I'm not.
Already.
I'm not editing around that one. And then we also have Elle
Hello.
and Garrett.
Hello.
So I have a little question, and I'm going to start with Elle, a little icebreaker I like to ask people the first time they're on the show. And so start with Elle, and then we'll go to Garrett. So I'd like to ask each of you, what is currently one movie? It doesn't necessarily have to be your favorite movie, but what is just one movie right now that you just could consistently watch over and over and over again and not get tired of?
So I've been so dreading this question because I've seen the other episodes and I cannot think of one. Because I am a chronic rewatcher. I rewatch everything, but in this present moment, I would have to say Tu Wong Fu, Thank You for Everything, Julie Newmar. It is one of my favorite films. It is fantastic. It's got Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, another actor that I can never remember his name, but they're all drag queens that get stuck in a small town. And they have to find their way out of the small town, and it's just about community and everything. One of my short films is based off of the plot to it, so it just holds such a special place in my heart, and I love it so much. Also, another Patrick Swayze film that I'll watch over and over is Dirty Dancing. It's
Real.
peak. It's so good.
And then Garrett, what about you?
So it doesn't have to be a current movie, correct? It just
No,
one
it can
that
be any movie. Just any, and it doesn't have to be your favorite movie of all time or anything, but just a movie that you're like, man, I could watch that over and over and over again.
Yeah. So for me, currently I'm studying a lot of comedy films because I want to create more comedy short films. And the one that I just constantly I could put it on anytime, no matter what, and I'll be able to enjoy it. And I could even tune it out. It's perfect. It's Wayne's World. It's yeah, Wayne's World. 1 or 2. I prefer 1, but the second one has some good moments as well. But I could literally put it on with anybody, or just by myself, or just on the road, or not while I'm driving, but I can I can put it on and definitely enjoy the whole movie.
Dude, that one's so good. I would recommend Blues Brothers too. That one's good. If you want more SNL type films, Blues Brothers is peak.
Oh yeah, Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, right?
That one's my favorite. Oh, it's so good. I got both of them on DVD, and I also got Wayne's World on DVD. But they're so good.
Yeah. So, did you open another bottle of wine?
Yeah, she's on glass 6.
Okay.
This is what I had to live with for years.
Transitioning over now to we're going to introduce this movie a little bit. Of course, as you've glimpsed from the intro and the title today, we're talking about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, released in, I believe, 1974, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Correct.
And so, as always, I'd like to introduce the movie with a little snippet that I have stolen from Google because I am too lazy to write one myself. A group of youngsters come across a family of psychopaths who attack them with a variety of gruesome methods, including a chainsaw, before those who survive escape, still pursued by the saw-wielding Leatherface.
most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America.
I don't necessarily have a history lesson prepared for this movie. But
Me, I do.
do you? Oh, okay.
I love learning about culture and history, and the amount of like counterculture that had to arise in order for this film to happen is insane. So ironically enough, it started with Easy Riders, because that was one of the first like guerrilla type films that was super popular, especially with the downfall of the flower power sort of era. It was no longer the season or the years of love because the 60s are over. The effects of drugs really took a toll on people, and it ended with the Manson family committing the murder on Sharon Tate. And so hippies were viewed in a very different light after that. They were viewed as cult members, druggies, all that fun stuff, and that caused a lot of fear in the suburban public, as we see with other films later after this, like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, all that, because Sharon Tate was killed in her home in like a rich neighborhood and everything, so it caused a lot of fear. And then on top of that, the film industry was changing quite a lot because low budget filmmaking was becoming the norm, especially in the horror genre. You have things like the house on the end of the street, I think it was called. I think I'm like 2 words off. And like drive-in movies and things like that. It was no longer big budget Paramount or these old 1950s companies that were like ruling the box office. It was these sloppy guerrilla, very dark, edgy, messy films, and Texas Chainsaw just fit so perfectly in that literally everyone in the movie was a film student at the time. They weren't actors, they were all friends of the director. And the director, the only known credit that he had was a experimental film called Eggshells. That was just a random class project that he was known for. Even the actor for Bubba, or Leatherface, his full name is Bubba, but that's in the like new movies and things like that. But he was just, they called him like last minute because the guy who was actually supposed to play him was passed out drunk in his hotel room. So they're like, okay, we're just gonna replace you. So yeah, there's your little history lesson. I know so much about this movie. The behind the scenes is insane, and I love it so much.
This movie seems like a movie that has a lot of really interesting behind the scenes tidbits to it.
It's one of the few legal snuff films.
I also did a tiny bit of research on my own as well. And you covered most of them, but I also wanted to just go ahead and highlight that this came out like right before Stranger Danger, started to become like a widespread thing, and you can see like the kernels of that like starting to emerge with. Actually, I'm not going to say that because that's spoiler territory, kind of, sort of. So I'm gonna shut up. But you can kind of start to see the seeds germinate.
Yeah, well, because that's sort of what I think of. Especially with like in like the 80s, I think a lot of like those Where Are Your Kids advertisements. We talked about this a bit in the Halloween episode, but I think a lot of the McGruff, I don't know if you guys remember McGruff, yeah, and then like the 80s I think are really defined to me in my mind by like the slashers. You know, when I think of 80s horror, I think of like all of the sequels and franchise horror from like Friday the 13th and Halloween and Nightmare. Those are like the big 3 I think of. And there's like dozens of other, direct-to-video ones that have, sprouted up around that time that have been lost to the wind. But yeah, and so I do definitely agree with that. We kind of talked about how Halloween also sort of feels like another one of those movies that feels like it's laying the groundwork and preying on the stranger danger anxieties, the way I think like a lot of the stuff from like the 50s was sort of preying on like nuclear anxieties with like these weird creatures and monster movies that are a result of like radiation gone awry. And nowadays we have a lot of like body horror. Like I think about like The Substance and like how that's very like rooted in like body autonomy, which is like a big, especially with like women being able to make decisions about their own bodies. That's like a big thing. So we're starting to see stuff like that. Like I saw the TV Glow as well, and even like Alien Romulus. Yeah. So yeah. I kind of have a bit of an... I kind of can assume a little bit because it's funny the way the panel I curated for this turned out, because in the process of doing it, I feel like I've picked 3 people that seem to be pretty big fans of this movie, so this may be a bit of a redundant question, but I'd like to ask it anyhow. And so starting with Garrett, I'd like to ask... what was your like level of familiarity with this movie prior to getting ready for this conversation?
So prior to getting ready for this conversation, I first saw this movie probably for the first time around 5 years ago. It was around COVID. And growing up, so my mom's from Texas, and she would always tell me that she never saw this movie just because it scared her so bad. And then my dad said he saw the movie once, and his buddy was saying that it was based in his area, which he lived in Pennsylvania, but that it was like a true story based in Pennsylvania, so he was scared to death of it. And so like my expectations were like all the way up here, because like my familiarity was like, this is the scariest movie of all time, like I gotta be prepared. And I watched it with my dad, and it actually lived up to the hype. Like, not, obviously not like, this is real, but like, this movie is really good and it holds up for being 50 years old. And I was just like blown away, specifically by just the feel it gave me. You know, we were talking about the guerrilla style, the feel that guerrilla filmmaking evoked on me, specifically since I watched it, you know, so many years ahead of when it was made. It added so much punch to what I was seeing on screen. That's basically the way to answer the question. I don't know how to wrap it up, but yeah.
Yeah. And then, Ember, what about you?
So I actually wasn't the biggest fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'd seen it one time before preparing for this, probably in the ballpark of 10, 15 years ago. I don't remember exactly. So yeah, but it was kind of cool to go ahead and revisit it. I don't know if my ADHD has gotten worse in the like decade and change that since I've seen it last, but I found the first chunk to be a bit too slow for my tastes. But that's just me. I really like the like ending sequence. Like, that's a spoiler, I'm not going to say that, but after a moment, the movie just like it's so good. And I've really thoroughly enjoyed the last, I don't know, probably 30-ish.
There's been a murder.
Don't worry about it.
Probably the last like 30 or so minutes of the movie. Really, really good. And I kind of wish that we had gotten to see a little bit more of the family dynamic.
And
Doing
then,
future films.
and then
Future
Elle, what
films.
about you?
So yeah, I'm in the same boat as Garrett, where I didn't see it until later, because a big thing about me is I didn't get into horror until like 2019 going into 2020. That was when I watched like my first horror movie, which was It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. The like remakes. Cause scary movies scared me, so I didn't watch them until like I broke that seal, and then I just consumed all of it. So I tried to watch like a bunch of like recommendation videos, and I watched like the classics, the ones that didn't scare me all that much, that were made older, so that like, to me, Halloween wasn't scary to me. I know, like, probably at the time it was, but it wasn't. It was something that I could watch with my dad late night on Sci-Fi when it was October. And same with, like, Friday the 13th. Like, it just seemed cheesy to me. And, you know, like, we lumped that into that category, but Texas Chainsaw was something so different. Like, I remember in preparation for watching it, I turned off all the lights. It was late at night. I was just alone on the couch, and I just really wanted to, like, immerse myself. And right as that opening, like, sequence of, like, the film you were about to see, I immediately was like, oh, this is going to get spooky. And the flashes with the cadavers and everything like that, I was like, oh, I'm in for a treat. And I'm a huge special effects person, and seeing all those cadavers at the beginning, like, I studied mortuary and things like that, so it was just like, ooh, this is gonna be fun. And that first, like, dead body displayed, they're called something. I think they're called displays when a murderer, like, puts the body in a certain way. They're either called displays or they're called something, because, you know, it's not normal, and they clearly did it purposely. And when I saw that, it just reminded me of Hannibal as well, which was one of the few things that I watched. I watched Silence of the Lambs before this, and it just reminded me of, like, the sort of wearing the skin and all that, and I love that movie, and so I was so excited. And well, I'll talk about the scene that just made me realize, like, this is a different horror movie from all the, like, not even the sci-fi or the alien fantastical demon things like that. It was different from all the slashers that I have watched, because I watched all the slashers prior to this, and this like just felt different. Like, I felt icky in my gut, and I liked that feeling. It spooked me.
I think, speaking for myself, this was a movie that I was certainly. It's weird. Like, I think I knew of Leatherface, right? Because he's just, horror was like something that I remember used to, I mean, appropriately so, freak me out. And so I didn't really engage with it. And I think what it kind of became is that I slowly was trying to, like, I think in my mind is like, if I understood it from, like, the sidelines, it would make it less and less scary. And so I would read, like, Wikipedia articles, and I would just, like, watch videos of people talking about it and whatnot. I still remember, I think the earliest, like, horror adjacent thing was that, like, I think it was the scene in, oh, you know what it was? It was the very end of the supper time scene from Frank Oz's Little Shop.
Yes.
And Mr. Mushnick gets into Audrey 2, and I was way too young to be seeing it. And it's like a real puppet eating that guy, and it just freaked me out. And then, like, I left and come back, and I came back during the Don't Eat the Plant sequence, which was just freaked me out even worse. So I stayed away from it. Now I love Little Shop.
Yeah, Little Shop is scary, like, especially if you're younger. It's because the animatronics used for that. We don't have to talk about it, but yeah. I would like to. I love Little Shop.
I think we'll probably cover it at some point, but
maybe in the bonus episode.
Yeah, but I remember, so, like, I knew of him because, like, there's always, like, the smorgasbord of slasher icons, you know, there's Michael and Jason and Freddy, and, you know, I just always saw Leatherface up there with those guys, so I was like, right, Texas Chainsaw guy. And I think, but aside from that, I think there was, like, a couple of things I knew in reputation about this movie, which is that, like, I knew that, like, horror fans were particularly endeared to Leatherface. There was, like, a very, like, there's just been, like, a broad baby girlification of, I think, slasher villains. But, like, Bubba in particular, I noticed, was, like, a part of that. And people didn't really seem to have any sympathy for the victims in this franchise in particular. And I knew, like, the ending. Because there's two shots. It's the shot with the son and waving the chainsaw like crazy, and then without getting into spoilers, but the girl in the back of the truck, and like that in like whenever there's just any documentary, any video, any like Halloween thing ever where you just need a bunch of horror movie B-roll clips, those two shots are always there. And to the point that I actually made a Halloween video a while ago where for like I think it was a couple of years ago, I think it was like Marathon of Mayhem or something, inspired by Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando. And I was like, "Ooh, I want to throw in a bunch of like just quick clips of all these different moments," and I got that clip even though I hadn't even seen the movie. So like the reputation was definitely there, but I didn't really know anything outside of that. Yeah. I don't want to transition quite into spoilers just yet, because there's one small point I want to make, and then we'll probably get into spoilers after that. But speaking a little bit more about personal observations and then what we thought of the movie, something I thought was really interesting is something that came up during our Halloween discussion, as we talked about how cool it is that this vibes of slasher, and it seems self-evident, right? But the vibes of slasher movies and horror movies are always so in line with who that like slasher is. We talked about how like the filmmaking techniques in Halloween are very like there's a lot of like you're on sticks a lot, or you're like on like steady cam, or it's almost like the camera's just like gliding, and because like Michael's like almost like a ghastly presence. He kind of reminds me, his movement language reminds me of like Tim Burton Batman, where it's like the shoulders are very stiff, or something. You know, he's turning with his whole body in a way. And everything in that movie from like a visual standpoint feels so calculated and exact and straight line from point A to B, because that's who Michael is. He's patient, he's exact, he is calculated. And so it's so kind of fun taking that prospect and going to this movie, and its visual language, especially when you're dealing with Leatherface on screen, is just like borderline like documentarian. Like, it feels, the fact that it's so, like, gnarly and grisly and grainy and shaky cam and nasty, it's so appropriate, because he's this big, hulking butcher type individual that's waving a chainsaw around like crazy, and there's no grace or precision at all in anything this character does. But, like, that is kind of the horror of it, is that like it almost feels like an unattended garden hose with a chainsaw. And I just think, I don't know, it'll be really interesting when we start getting into other horror franchises to see if we still feel like the filmmaking and the camera techniques ring true for who that sort of central character is. And I will say for sure that this movie is one of them. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I guess at this point we'll go ahead and start transitioning into spoiler thoughts. So this is your final warning for those sorts of things. But yeah, getting into that
talking
now.
About murder.
Oh boy. We should mention, if people die in this movie, if that was not evident enough by the title of it.
There will be a massacre.
The premise of the show.
But yeah, I guess we'll start with Garrett again. What are your sort of overall spoiler included thoughts about this movie?
Yeah, so I have a segue from what you were just talking about, back to the grainy like aspect of it. The scene that got me the most, like, I guess on first viewing, was, so for context, I grew up going in the woods a lot, going in the woods day or night, and the scene where they were running through the woods at night is like, oh my gosh.
That is, I wrote down the best jump scare in cinema. I was talking to Ember about it the other day too. That is like the only jump scare that has ever gotten me and continues to get me, just because it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, and then they run by the house and you're like, no, don't go in there. It's like, oh my gosh, it's set up so perfectly, like the suspense just kills you. And the poor guy in the wheelchair.
Poor Franklin, man. That whole movie, I just felt bad for Franklin. Like, from
frame
one, from moment one that he is they're like having to pull over on the side of the road so that he can use the bathroom in a bucket, and he gets like blown down. It's like the kid in Mac and Me, like the Paul Rudd clip from Mac and Me. He gets chucked down the hill because it's like 18-wheeler.
No, okay. I want to talk about that moment because, for one, to start with, I didn't need an extended shot of Franklin struggling to unzip his pants. That felt unnecessary. But on top of that, like, what does this truck somehow just is it imbued with the Force? Does it have midichlorians or something? Because how is it pushing people like 20 feet away?
It's the wind truck.
I've had cars drive near me like 3 feet away going about as fast as that.
Not a semi.
Yes, semis. It's not that much wind. It's not enough wind to push you down a hill.
Well, also it was probably like, dirt and like this rumble of it caused it to...
I don't accept that at all.
Okay.
But I have...
Major plot hole.
Yeah, what is Franklin Fall?
I have behind the scenes knowledge of that clip.
Oh, really?
The actor who played Franklin, he did not want to do it at all. He had like the worst time. And it like, not only did he want to stay in character, but he also was just like being bitchy as well. Which, fair. I mean, it was like 100-something degrees. It's hot. You're cramped up in that car. But he said he wouldn't do it unless he got paid like this amount of money in cash. And on the day of filming, they handed it. And as he's rolling down the hill, he has in his little shirt pocket the whole wad of cash in his shirt pocket while they're filming it. Which I think that's pretty punk rock. Like that's.
Well, so let's see. So let me try and remember the gang. So there's Glasses Guy with the bell bottoms.
Glasses Guy with bell bottom is Jerry.
Okay.
And Jerry is dating Sally.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is that Astrology Girl? No, that's the girl who gets her sign red.
Sally
is her final girl.
Final girl, yes.
Okay, and then there's Franklin.
Is spiritual girl.
Pamela is Astrology Girl, and then we have not Fred.
Yeah, that's Kurt.
Okay.
Kirk
so they
and
go
Pam
and So they go to the cemetery because somebody has been vandalizing and stealing bodies.
Yes.
And Franklin and Sally's grandfather is buried there, so they want to check up on his grave. Everything seems in order, so they leave. And then they pick up Evil Shaggy.
The hitchhiker.
Yeah.
See, I thought that was off-brand Adam Driver.
Okay.
No,
I thought Adam Driver was... the first time I saw Adam Driver, I thought he was Ross's son. I was like, I didn't know David Schwimmer had a kid.
But,
and
the hitchhiker is named Chop Top if you watch the second Texas Chainsaw. They all have names, but you just have to watch more Texas Chainsaw.
I gotta get caught up on Texas Chainsaw lore.
Dude.
Somebody told me that, like, one of the movies is an origin story, and I was like... does it show him going to the store to buy the chainsaw?
No, he makes it in a cave with nothing but scraps.
Okay. It's like
he fell into a vat of acid in the chainsaw.
A vat of chainsaws.
All right, guys, let's.
I came up with my own origin story for them.
Oh yeah.
Who would win in a chainsaw duel? Evil Dead 2, Ash Williams, or Bubba?
I say
Ash,
Bubba.
easy. No, you're insane, Ash.
Yeah.
See, Ash is already like he's already a
Ash is
unreasonably saying groovy. He's unreasonably hot. I'll say that.
I was gonna say overpowered, but sure, your thing
Garrett
too. I
kind of
guess
looks like Ash Williams.
I haven't watched the third Evil Dead,
Bruce
so I'm
Willis
not fully. I haven't got through the second.
Yeah, guys, we got
first and
Bruce
second
Willis
Evil
here.
Deads.
The show's doing that well.
Okay. But anywho, that's our gang. Is Jerry, Pam, Kirk, Franklin, Sally, and Chop Top so far.
And then they stop at the gas station. Oh no! So then Evil Shaggy is like freaking everybody out. He's like taking pictures of Franklin, trying to charge him for said pictures, and then he blows the picture up. He like cuts himself. He cuts Franklin. He jumps out of the car, rubs blood all over it. So they're like, that was weird. And then they go to get gas.
I have
and
things to say. So the amount of foreshadowing that I never noticed was in that scene is insane. Because not only does he talk about the meat plant or the slaughterhouse, that that Franklin's uncle works at and everything like that. He talks a lot about how they used the gun and it put people out of jobs, and how his grandfather used to be the best one. So his grandfather lost his job, which probably caused them to be poor, which leads them to cannibalism, because they can't afford food. And not only that, but they own a gas station. Guess what happened in the 70s? No gas. So they're in a very bad position. And I think that Chop Top, aka the hitchhiker, hitchhikes from the slaughterhouse to get unsuspecting victims, marks them with the blood, then they go to the gas station, they see the marking, they know to go to them next to get their food.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Wow.
The amount of foreshadowing in that scene is crazy. And also Pam's astrology readings also set up. Yeah.
Right. I thought that was
Saturn's
fun.
in retrograde.
The meat processing factory thing is also a tiny bit. I'm sorry, I smacked the shit out of my mic right then. A tiny bit of social commentary. Listen, for the audio listeners, it fucks with it, okay? It's a tiny bit of social commentary because around the mid 60s, that's whenever they had introduced the gun, the like pipe guns, which went ahead and did that, which.
And it's also, this whole movie was like a commentary on the meat industry. Like we see later on that they are treated like cattle. And they express how like gross it smells, because not only was this time like, you know, hippie culture, so they were very aware of the environment, the greenhouse gases, the methane that cows produce, which is mainly because of the diet that they eat. If cows wouldn't be so bad if farmers just stopped feeding them corn, honestly. Sorry, I'm from Indiana. I know a lot about cows. I took a few FFA courses. Anywho, they were also talking about just the meat industry in general. A lot of people, veganism and vegetarianism was on the huge rise. Pam herself expresses that she is more of a vegetarian sort. She's like, I would never eat that. And Franklin expressing like, oh, you would eat it if you didn't know what was in it. Sort of the head cheese and the chili and everything like that. Because also Chop Top was explaining that they didn't waste anything. Now there's food waste because people deem those parts undesirable or untasty because they're starting to know how the sausage is made, which it's not bad to eat those parts. They are good. It's just people find it unsavory to know that their hot dogs are made out of like pig testicles and things like that. But you can eat it. The natives have done it for years and years. But yeah, people found it nasty. So now there's a bunch of food waste and things like that, which causes the smells, more gases to build up and everything. And it's just a constant cycle. So some more historical context that I can go on and on about.
It may be a little early to ask this, but I would just be curious to hear everyone's opinion on this, because we do this for every movie that is horror or horror adjacent in some way, shape, or form. And so this might even be the movie that led to James A. Janisse coining the term. But yes, to once again pull a page from his book, I'd like to ask everybody what their golden chainsaw and dull machete in this movie is for best and worst kill. Ember, what about you? What is your golden chainsaw for your favorite kill in this movie?
Franklin, easily, because it was the most interesting out of all of them, in my opinion. Like, something actually happened other than just a bonk with a hammer.
Which causes the skull to fracture, which causes those fragments to go into the brain, which causes them to seize.
I'm aware, but visually it's boring.
I like the seizing.
Is that the first one? Is that the first one?
No, Franklin was
no.
the last person to die in the movie.
No, I mean the one I very much remember where they
I'll
highlight
talk
the
about
seizing
mine.
is it. Right. What's your dull machete, Ember? What do you think is the worst kill?
Probably Kirk. I think Kirk's was like the most uneventful. Because it was literally just, if I'm remembering the characters correctly, if it's not Kirk, then it's the other one that isn't Franklin. But I'm sorry.
Is it the one with the afro or not?
No.
Okay, then it's Kirk.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, Kirk was just kind of like a quick bonk, and then he just dropped, and that was pretty much it for the kill. So it just kind of felt, it was bordering on a jump scare, because Leatherface just kind of like appears, does that, and then like kind of drags the body away, and that was it. And it was like, oh well, all right, I guess they're dead.
Okay. Elle, what about you?
My favorite is Pam's. She's the spiritual girl. It's not just her kill that I like, because it takes her a while to like actually get killed, and it can be debated of whether or not she got killed or not, but her running out of the house, getting out, and then Bubba grabbing her is the most like gut-dropping thing that I've ever felt, because like my whole fear, shocker, I was raised as a woman and everything, like that main fear of getting kidnapped, and like my mom has gone through several scenarios of how to escape and everything, and I'll get back into it later when we talk about Sally, but because I'm hoping that we talk about Sally. But the idea of her getting out of the house, reaching that goal, because you know in movies and stuff, when you get out of the house you're safe, but him going back out and grabbing her back in, ugh. I hate it. It scares me so much, but it's also like just so good. And then like when she gets plopped onto that meat hook, you just feel like, oh, up your spine, of like you can feel how that would feel even though you have no clue. And then her, again, it's debated of whether or not she's actually dead, because we do see her later on, she's in a fridge, and she's like, you know, comes back after Jerry opens the fridge door, but we can assume that she probably dies after that. So technically we don't see her get killed, so if you want to count it, that's up to you, but I count it because girl is dead. She's not making it out. But just, I consider her death being him grabbing her back into the house, because you're dead after that. Like, it just, that has always just stuck with me. Like, That's what keeps me up at night, is just her grabbing her back into the house. Like, that is horrifying, because it's in broad daylight too. I know you guys talked about it in Halloween, of like horror in broad daylight is just something about it's worse. And like, even as much as she screams, like she's not getting help, and that to me is just nope. It's terrible. But yeah, that's my golden chainsaw. And I guess my doll chainsaw would also be Kirk. I know I defended, because I do like the detail of them knowing that the skull fragments would go into the brain, causing it to seize. I like that they knew that, and that's also a cattle reference as well. That's why the gun's better, because the mallet causes them to seize, causes them more pain. But it's terrible. It's horrible. It's always stuck with me. But yeah, I do enjoy that detail. But like, Jerry's is just too fun, because he screams like such a little girl. Jerry's is just fun, and despite it being called Massacre, that's I mean, I do like Franklin's, and that's a good jump scare, but I feel like the death is kind of cheesy, just because the blood splurts. And also knowing that they just put syrup in their mouth and just spit it at the actor that plays Bubba for the blood spurt.
Listen, maybe Bubba likes to get spit on.
He is a child in the brain, okay? don't do that to him.
I always forget about that.
Yeah, he's disabled, which we'll talk about that later.
Garrett, what about you?
I am also going with Pam, because holy, that scene, just the build up to it too, because like she doesn't know. I mean, do we assume she doesn't know what happened to Kirk? Is that what we assume?
Not fully until she sees him splayed out on the table.
Yeah,
she knows he's probably been like held up somehow. That's why she goes and checks on him.
It's between that and like going into the room with the chicken feathers everywhere, and like
oh yeah,
she's like exploring all that. So she's literally checking out the whole place before she leaves, and then gets dragged back in, and it's like just the build up. again, I love suspense like that, so it's perfect. And then Dole, I'd have to go with Jerry actually, because Jerry's the one who like opens the meat fridge and sees everything, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It didn't really do it for me. In that sense, I did like Kirk's just because we get the establishing of like, okay, this is the hidden door, like this is what's going on here. He's seizing up, like all that stuff. You know, it helped a lot.
Yeah. I think I also, my golden chainsaw probably also has to be Pam, because I think the build up to even though we don't necessarily see the moment, arguably, I think the build up around the entire encounter with like the whole scene with the chicken feathers, the like really wide sofa with like the weird wide skeleton statue, which is just like what is that?
It's a lamp.
To just the like, yeah, I mean like people, I mean I've even heard people sort of discuss the idea that like even just so much as getting out of the vicinity of where you have initially been restrained to in like a hostage situation increases your survivability by a dramatic amount. So to have literally been on the threshold, on the precipice of that, and have like, and to lose it, and not because you did anything wrong. Like that's the thing that's just always like, and usually in horror movies, like there's like somebody makes her stupid. Like she didn't do anything wrong. Like she didn't like they like, yeah. And it's just like she was like, oh, I think my friend, like it'd be like one thing if they like smashed a door open and were like trashing the place and throwing a party, but they were just like, hello, we'd like to buy some gasoline because we're stranded, please.
Yeah. That was something that I've picked up with the movie that I loved, is none of the characters make stupid or unreasonable decisions. Like, you could argue that Kirk going into the house was stupid, but it's also the 70s. Like, the doors were unlocked, you could go in and be like, hey...
It's farmland out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and he announced himself several times, and he heard a noise in the hallway. He probably figured they're on the phone or something, so maybe he was going to wave in, be like, hey, whenever you get the chance, we just need some gas. And it's not like they were wrong to assume whether or not they had gas, because you see the bunches of cars, which proves my theory that they mark the cars that come through the gas station and everything.
They also had the insert shot of the generator.
Right.
Yeah, they have the generator, which won't generate gas, but...
No, but it's running on gas.
Running
Yeah,
gas,
Yeah, and I also like to think that generator's to drown out any more screaming, even though they're in the middle of nowhere, but regardless. But yeah, he's not dumb to assume that they might have gas, and, like, again, no one, like, was just like, let's go do this, and especially when Franklin and Sally are waiting for them, they do all the right steps, like honking the horn, staying where they are in case they come back. Those are all things that, like, are my mom's checklist in case, like, something happens. And especially Sally, like, she doesn't make specific smart decisions. She just makes the correct decision. But it's just that fear of, like, there's nothing you can do. Sometimes there's nothing. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just terrible people are going to be doing terrible things. And that's the true fear, I think, of in this movie, is just... Oh, there's nothing she could do.
Well, it reminds me a lot of The Strangers. The Strangers is a movie that I remember really freaking me out, because there's, you know, like there's these like literally like out of a movie people. They all have like distinct masks and personalities. These three people that break into your house, and it feels so personal and violent and like motivated. And then so to have that moment in the movie where they're like, why did you do this to us? And they're just like, because you were home. And it's just
terrible people are going to do terrible things regardless of what you do. It's just ugh.
Well, no, I didn't have much.
I just kind of wanted to go ahead and somewhat piggyback off of Elle's golden and Garrett's golden chainsaws, and purely because they had already mentioned it, and but I had genuinely fully forgotten that this movie kind of was, if not the progenitor, at least like the popularization of the hook thing, which Dead by Daylight now uses. And so once I saw that upon rewatching it, how I was fully like pointing at the screen for a moment. I was like, it's the thing!
It's the meat hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that like
Yeah.
there's no blood in that scene. Like what they were planning is to have the meat hook go all the way through her, but they were like they didn't want anyone thinking about like, oh, how'd they do that and everything, and they wanted to keep the PG sort of rating, so they didn't use a lot of blood, and I think that's more effective because you can just, your mind's more powerful.
Yeah, I think the fact that you don't really see the gag at all is
And you could
actually
just
so
hear
much
her.
more like, yeah.
I love that scene.
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned earlier we wanted to touch on our final girl, Sally, right? Yeah.
Yes.
One of the, I mean, just on that like last 10, I mean, even honestly on that last shot alone of her in the back of the truck bed, just that shot alone is probably one of like the most iconic final girl images, just period.
Yeah. And what makes Sally unique as a final girl is, again, like, final girls are normally like the virgin, the babysitter, and all that. She's just as, possibly promiscuous as Pam. I don't know. Some people call Pam more promiscuous, but they don't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's the thing that got me this time around watching was when she makes it to the gas station.
Oh yeah.
And you as a viewer know, shit. But she's safe. She found someone, she's good, but she's not. And it just, when she notices, it like makes me sob. Like, cause it's worse than Pam, because Pam, she was still there, but like, the fact that she ran all the way to that gas station, she remembered where that gas station was, ran all the way to it on foot while being like on the heels Bubba, and she makes it and she's safe. But
yeah, it's just so, it's so like freaky and disheartening how like the like how like almost paternal the gas station guy is trying to be, and it was just like, it's just like, and the way he's like trying to be cordial about the fact that he's like trying to basically, like, he's trying to kidnap this person, and he does, like, he's like, no, please don't try to make this difficult for me. Like, it's just,
and he keeps doing it even after he's kidnapped her. He just is like, oh, don't worry, this bumpy road is about to be over. It's just, it's sick. It's sick. But
here's the real question, and maybe you chainsaw heads out there can answer this for me. What is the backstory on car washer guy with the little rag? Is he part of the family? Or is he just like some dude that they hired?
He got cannibalized off screen.
I think he's a day worker. I think it's a Five Nights at Freddy's situation. He's just needing the check.
He's just not paid enough to care.
Yeah. Well, maybe because in Chainsaw 2, I think there's another member of the family that we meet. It's been forever since I've seen that one, but I do think there's another sibling, so he might be that. I can't remember. But I know that there's more family. Oh, and again, I forgot to mention the foreshadowing in the van goes even more extreme when Franklin goes like, there are a bunch of Draculas, a whole family of Draculas.
Oh yeah!
And they are, like, they feast on the blood, and that's what keeps them alive. And I was like, I noticed that. This was the first time I noticed that, and I was like, holy crap.
They literally...
Their whole family
Grandpa literally looks like he sleeps in a crypt.
They kind of do up in that little...
And they prick her finger, and he starts, like, drinking from it. It's just...
tasty.
He was slurping that down.
Double gulp cup.
Freak.
Yeah.
Just a small thought. I mean, it's kind of on track with the gas station. Just like the idea of the whole setting that this movie takes place is so real. Like, I've definitely driven past the town just like that, where there's just one gas station, like 2 houses, so that just factor.
Hills Have Eyes kind of who
Yeah.
I am. And just,
Yeah, and every like character in this movie, you know this character, like you've seen this person in real life before. It's just like that adds so much to it, and like all, like you said, all the situations where they try to escape are not dumb. Like it's real scenarios. So I just wanted to add that while we were talking about the gas station. It's just so real, you know.
yeah. And I love the fact that Sally never stops trying, even like unless she's knocked out, she does not stop screaming. And I love that. Like, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Keep moving, keep screaming, don't, but she fights to the end, and I love her for it.
Well, I guess before I start transitioning into wrapping things up here, I just want to give a really quick shout out to that truck driver. Dude, like, what an arm on that guy to chuck that pipe wrench like that. And I sincerely hope he made it out okay, you know? He kind of came in clutch. Like, if he had not stalled for time for little truck driver to show up, you know, who knows?
A lot of people wonder why she didn't, like, why they get out of the semi. I'm like, because it's a semi. It's going to go a lot slower than a tinier truck.
Yeah, he's, like, already at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
he's already at the door. He was already starting to, like, scratch it up.
Yeah. He could easily slash those tires, all
Right.
18 of them.
Right. All right, well, I guess we'll...
Oh, never mind.
Okay.
I have a lot of social commentary for the movie, if you want to get into that, but I've been yapping a lot.
Well, we have our bonus episode, so
Yeah,
there's nothing stopping me from mixing things around
That's true.
Exactly.
across both edits. But, I think as we sort of start to wind down this discussion, I want to ask everybody just simply, would you recommend this movie to folks? Like, would you recommend it broadly? Would you recommend it to a specific group or kind of person? I guess we'll start with Elle.
I have recommended this movie to a bunch of people. All of my friends here, I have like forced them to sit down and watch it. Just because like they asked me about it, and I'm like, dude, it's so good. And I love it because it's silent. Like from that first opening thing, everyone's dead silent until the very end. And that's just something that like you don't get anymore with watching movies with friends. Not that I don't like it, where we talk and things like that, but it's just those vibes of the movies. So yeah, if you want to have just that chilling type of night, like if you're like wanting something spooky, scary, and just want that dead silence movie, even by yourself, like that's the best way to watch this, is by yourself in a dark.
Oh, yeah.
It really gets you not even in the mood for Halloween, but just it's more than just a Halloween type movie, because Halloween, obviously you want to watch it at Halloween, but I think it's just good all year round, especially like if you're good with getting spooked and you just haven't seen a movie that has scared you. I would recommend this.
Ember, what about you?
Can we repeat the question?
Would you recommend this movie to people?
And what's my motivation? I'm sorry. Anyways,
I am going to kill you. That's your motivation.
Anyways,
if you do not answer the question.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that it's worth watching, especially if you have less ADHD than my ass has.
Saying an 82-minute movie was too slow is kind of crazy.
It's
I gotta
not
be
even
honest.
that slow.
The pacing, I could understand.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
the pacing.
Okay.
It's not the actual runtime. It's the pacing ultimately. Because for me, I know for a fact, if I wasn't on call with you and some other people, I don't remember who else was there, when watching it, I was blocking you guys out for like 90+% of the time, but having that extra background noise allowed me to like lock in enough
Something to
properly
ignore in order
listen.
to pay attention. I can't even
Why do you
fault
think I
you.
yap so much?
No, I can't fault you because that's how I fall asleep. I have to put on like videos of people talking so that I can zone out ignoring them, which puts me in like the whole like
How do you think
like
we've
half
gotten
step.
through over 100
Yeah,
Nick
no.
Cage films. You just
Yeah.
gotta zone something out in order to stomach it.
Yeah, no, it definitely does help if you're like me and can't just focus or lock in on like just the one thing. But yeah, no, I mean, I would have been throwing up Subway Surfers on my phone if I didn't have
That's
the
wild.
call
Why do I
ready.
keep inviting people on the show that can't even watch movies?
Okay, no.
Marquis
I can
stopping
watch-
halfway through. I got the
I got
gist.
through the movie.
Again,
I've gotten through all the movies so far.
yeah, you.
I'm not
pulled
going to
it.
say
Yeah.
full on because, you know, in theory, there could be a movie in the future that I don't. But so far, I've gotten through all of them.
You did text me somewhat through being like, I don't know, this pacing's off, and I'm like, I think the pacing
Oh, yeah.
helps with the payoff at the end. And then you text me being like,
Yeah.
okay, it slaps. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's almost like you need
I
that.
just-
It's
For
called
me,
a-
it felt like pulling teeth early on, but it
well,
did
because
make,
we're
it did help
used to
the
Nick
payoff a
Cage,
lot.
where the ending isn't.
Okay, speak for yourself.
Gratifying.
Nick Cage is only like half of the movies that I've ever seen.
Nick Cage is like pulling
Yeah, that
teeth,
wouldn't
except you
not
don't
make this
actually
any
get the
better.
teeth pull. It's just the pull. You don't actually get the teeth.
Wait,
out.
no, what's that called? Boy in Blue? Sorry, I
Boy
totally
in
fucked
Blue?
up.
Boy in Blue is so bad.
Shout out Boy
Hang
in
on.
Blue.
So bad. I still think back to the awkward sex scene that Boy in Blue has, where
Oh
it's
my
just
God.
the worst thrusting you've ever seen.
You know, that is a really interesting point, Garrett. What is
Yeah!
your? Oh no!
So
Boy,
I
kiss,
actually
blue kiss.
ripped that for Ember.
Garrett,
Thank you. You're a real one for that, for sitting through that movie.
Dude.
I
put it
And
on
then
there.
just for us
In
to
here.
sit through. Just
Help!
for us to sit.
oh, Ember, that is a really good point. We should ask Garrett would he recommend this movie or not.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said.
Would you recommend Texas Chainsaw to people? Yeah.
No hate to no hate to Ember, but my favorite movies are slow-paced movies. Just specifically
Oh
because
yes, yes.
it's like, well, with horror specifically, it's awesome. But like with other movies, it's like just getting into the headspace of how the director shot it. Like another good example would be Paris, Texas. That's pretty slow paced.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly. I just like I want to feel that environment and just like get immersed, and that helps me so much. Just when it's slower paced. But with this movie, I specifically recommend you watch it. You have to watch it this way. You have to. If you don't have a carpet, you can sit on the hardwood floor, but I'd say sit on a carpet, put your TV on the floor, turn out all the lights, and specifically, like, it doesn't matter if you have a small TV or not, but I would recommend a small TV. Get your popcorn, get your favorite soda or water of choice, completely shut down your phone, no ringer, completely shut it down and put it in the other room, and maybe some head cheese, and then you watch the movie.
It's like a sleepover
Oh.
movie. It's definitely a sleepover
Yes.
Yeah, to bring up that
Yes.
G. Honestly, yeah, Sleepover is probably the best setup for watching this movie.
Yeah, that would also
Yeah.
probably help you because, like, if your intentions.
I love making fun of movies.
That's how I used to
Oh,
watch.
great.
My Babysitter's a Vampire. So turn off all the lights, get on spooky.
Oh my gosh.
But
I used to watch that
It's-
on the Wii.
oh, I recorded it on TiVo.
Would I recommend Texas Chainsaw? That's an interesting question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I almost called you
You know,
Marquise. Austin, would you recommend?
I think so. I think if you're just a fan, if you're a horror fan and you haven't checked out this movie, you ought to. You really ought to. You owe it to yourself. It's less than 90 minutes. It's a wonderful little, like, if you're just like, oh man, I really want to
Well paced.
Yeah, I want to quickly throw on something to just get into that spooky vibe. You know, I got like some Vietnamese takeout and I need something to eat or something to watch while I'm eating. You know, throw that
I
on.
still have my popcorn bowl from when I was watching
Popcorn
it.
bowl?
Popcorn.
Uh-huh. Popcorn. And it was
But yeah.
finally good.
It's got to be Vietnamese. It can't be Korean, can't be Chinese.
I mean, it can. I don't discriminate.
No. No,
I
it
just
has
really
to
like
be.
Vietnamese.
Wow.
It has to
Austin
be
doesn't
Vietnamese
like
food.
any other Asian race than Vietnamese.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
exactly what he just
Food.
said.
No,
right
that's not
now.
true. I love the Asians.
Leave this in the edit. If you don't leave this in, you're a
Andromeda,
coward, Austin.
he loves the Asians.
I love Asians. They're very, well, I mean, it seems actually unfair to them to broadly categorize them in any way, shape, or form, even if it is positively. But I enjoy a lot of, I love a lot of Asian cuisine, like Indian, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Filipino.
Filipino food's good.
This all needs to stay in the episode, by the way.
Oh, I'm forgetting so many of them. Did I say
love
Korean?
Filipino food.
Did I say Korean?
You have not yet.
India? No, I already said Indian.
You already said that. That was like the second one.
Korean
I'm forgetting so
barbecue
many.
chicken is good.
I'm forgetting so many
Which
of them.
the history of Korean barbecue, or Korean fried chicken, is very interesting. It's from the black soldiers who were fighting in the Vietnamese War.
Oh.
Taught them how to fry chicken, and they just developed those recipes. So, fun
Well, I
history
think that's
fact.
going to bring this episode to an end. I forgot.
Would
to
you-
Any more Vietnamese
Would you
facts?
recommend-
I would absolutely recommend.
Yeah.
But would you
Korean
recommend
barbecue.
the Vietnamese? Okay, Korean barbecue. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to-
Yeah.
Love a good pho.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you all very much for joining me. Thank you very much for watching. I love you all, and good night.